Okay, my fact this week is that in the 1930 World Cup semi-final between the USA and Argentina, the American medic accidentally chloroformed himself and had to be carried off.
It's very funny. And it raises for me a lot of other questions, like, who was he trying to chloroform on the pitch?
Is that a legitimate tactic?
Yeah, they think he fell over. He didn't. He was chloroformed.
And was it like a classic movie where the bank robber or whoever is trying to steal someone puts the rag over the mouth? Was he like holding his face?
I mean, there is so much wrong with this fact, I think. And we might go into all of it, but it's on the FIFA website, so I think it counts as a fact for us. But I can't see it mentioned in any contemporary report, and chloroform doesn't really work like that.
This is an incredible self-drive-by on your own fact.
I know.
So he was called Jack Cole, is that right?
Jack Cole, yeah.
And there are a few versions of events, aren't there? So
Yeah,
one is that he ran on the pitch trying to help another player, and then a thing broke in his bag, and he had chloroform in his bag, and then that broke, and then the fumes
raised and knocked him out.
Yeah, that's one version. Another version is that he went onto the pitch to argue with the referee about something and threw a bottle of chloroform onto the ground in anger, and then it came up and the fumes knocked him out.
That's a red card. That's a red card for the medic.
The earliest I've managed to trace the story back is to a journalist called Brian Glanville, and a lot of people think he's the greatest football writer of all time. He's really, really famous, but he was born in 1931, so he couldn't have been at this match. But it is on the FIFA website. But the other thing is, if you look at contemporary reports from the newspapers at the time, it's not mentioned. And I found an interview with Jack Cole, which was done about 15 years later, and he doesn't mention it in that interview.
You might not, though, to be fair.
You couldn't remember.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
The self-knockout is just phenomenal, right? Like, it's one of those things where you don't know what to do when you see someone do it. Ash, who wrote the theme tune for our song, he once was in a bar fight, and there was a standoff just before it started. It's very weird.
Ash was in a bar fight?
You can't quite imagine it. He's the lead singer of our theme tune. And
he's the most zen person
he's
you've ever
so zen. So this was, I guess, just pre-zen Ash.
Right.
And he went for the first punch against these other people.
Wow.
And he took the swing, and as he took the swing, he took a step forward, slipped, fell on the ground, knocked himself out, and that was end of fight, end of bar fight.
Is that his only ever fight?
Yeah, he KO'd himself on the first go. Yeah.
So he actually has a 100% record of knocking someone out.
Yes.
Yeah.
In his only match.
Another source I found, this is a book called Angels with Dirty Faces by Jonathan Wilson, which is the best book that I've ever read on South American football.
Cool.
And he mentions it in that.
Great call. It's like a qualifier, though, but it's like such a big qualifier. Like, this is the best book I've ever read, is what they'll use on the cover.
I've read quite a few books on South American football, in fairness, and he says that there was a player nearby called Andy Old who did play in the game, and he said that he was half blinded by the chloroform in this incident and had to play the rest of the game not being able to see where he was running. But they got battered in this game. They lost 6-1 to Argentina, and one of the reasons might have been because one of the players got a broken leg in the first half.
I so don't believe this. Look, I've seen people with broken legs, and it's really painful. It was a guy called Ralph Tracy, and apparently afterwards he was diagnosed with that. But I reckon it was a tiny chipped bone.
Are you saying he played on?
Yeah, he played on the whole game. He got broken leg, really early on.
It was really weird because there was another player, Andy Old, who he suffered an injury as well, in which
he was the guy who James was saying got chloroform in the eye.
He got chloroform in the eye, but he also ripped his lip open.
Yeah.
And the problem is that there were no sort of proper rules about how you could treat the wound, and so he played the rest of the match with a rag in his mouth to sort of stem the bleeding.
Unfortunately, that rag had got chloroform on it.
Thanks for watching, guys. You can listen to the full episode right here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe for more fish-related clips and episodes, and you can join Club Fish for ad-free episodes and exclusive bonus content on Patreon and Apple Podcasts. Bye!